Well, hi there, everybody. Of course, you're traveling with Jack, that's me, and my heavenly wife, Pam. Today, not a travel video, not a cooking video, not me announcing I'm running for president video, but it's another one of my grief journey videos. So if you're watching this, in all likelihood, you're like me, you've lost your husband or a wife. Maybe you lost a child or someone very close to you, but this is more specifically for those who've lost a husband or wife. In my case, if this is your first time tuning in, my beautiful bride and I, Pam, knew each other since high school. She left this earth far too soon. But don't they all? I want to talk a little bit about today, though, as we continue this grief journey, some things that come up from time to time. First of all, this is in July when I'm recording this, and we're still in the middle of the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic. And it seems like every day the news just goes from bad to worse. And unfortunately, I work in local television. I'm a weather guy. And I have this little earpiece that stays in my ear all the time. And I do a 5 o'clock show, a 6 o'clock show, a 7 o'clock show, a 10 o'clock show, and an 11 o'clock show, if you can believe that. So I'm hearing bad news a lot. But I've learned something that really helps me. I'm not going to say it totally takes care of everything, but something you might do as well. I pull the earplug out as much as I can. I don't want to hear it. Because the way I look at it now, all we're doing is spreading bad news. Who wants to hear that? I've had viewers tell me they look forward to the weather because at least it's not all bad news in the weather. And for the most part, yeah, I try and give a little positive spin to things. And every now and then that gets me in trouble. You can check some other videos about that. But anyway, I know it's tough on you guys and girls when we're trying to navigate this grief journey in the midst of this COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, I thought it was so sad today. We got a email from the ownership of our station announcing plans for the holiday party 6 months from now. But they wanted to let us know that it was going to be a safe holiday party. They were having it at a theater that has a big banquet area. And in this banquet area, we would be doing social distancing. We were not to bring any guests, and they would have it catered. I thought, wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. Not. But it was just another one of those messages of no hope. They're just assuming that 6 months from now it's still going to be just as terrible and we've got to isolate ourselves and social distance and all that good stuff. So it weighs on us because we've already lost a husband or a wife, and so we're trying to get through that. And then we have all this on top of us. But we can get through it. I assure you we can. You've got to tune out the negativity and bring in positive thoughts, okay? So we need to think about that as we continue our journey here. Now, one thing too that I want to talk about, I had someone approach me today about the fact that I'm still wearing a wedding ring. They wanted to talk to me about that. They said, do you think you'll be able to meet anybody, wearing your wedding band? I hadn't really given it much thought because this wedding ring, which I'm wearing now, it's been 10 months since Pam passed, has been a part of me for 37 years. I've never taken it off for more than maybe a minute. I know some people take them off and they don't sleep with them or different things, but it was just always a part of me. And I thought about it. And I actually had a friend who got upset that this person even asked me that question. I said, no, I wasn't upset. I mean, it's a legitimate question. And I guess the point being is I'll take it off when I feel I'm ready to take it off. Could be never. Could be next week. Could be next year. Could be in 5 years. I don't know. So again, that's one of those things that only you can decide. And the great news is you have the power to make that decision. Nobody gets to make it for you. And maybe there'll come a time when you're ready to date. And when I say date, when I think about dating after the passing of Pam, I don't think about it in a romantic sense. I think about it more of in a friend situation. Somebody that I could still maybe go hiking with, or play a round of golf with, something like that. If it turns into something later, well, that's up to God. It's not up to me. So when it comes to your wedding ring, you make that decision. I've got Pam's wedding rings actually on a chain that sits on top of our dresser. And I thought, well, someday, if the time ever comes, I'll take my ring, I'll put it on that chain with hers, and maybe I'll wear it underneath my shirt or whatever. I had a very dear friend who actually took their wedding ring and then had it welded, or I don't know how they do it, what the jewelry term would be, with their wife's wedding rings. And it's now just one ring, so it's all together. And it's more of just a ring that they wear every day. And of course, they're still united. And I think as we consider possibly this dating thing or seeing somebody socially or whatever it might be, you always want to make sure they're accepting of maybe something as simple as the ring, or recognize the fact that you had somebody in your life for a long, long time. And that's going to be very important. I'm not there yet. Maybe you are. I mean, I'm probably rambling. I'll be honest, when I'm out and about and I see couples together, families together, it makes me wish I had somebody with me. And when I go do things and I'm by myself, sometimes I think, boy, I wish somebody was with me. Somebody special like Pam. And then I realize, there is no Pam out there. So for the time being, I'm just fine alone. Never thought I'd be that way. We were always extremely social people, but I'm finding now that I'm learning quickly how to be my own best friend. And I think I've mentioned that before to you. Become your own best friend. Is it great? No. Is it terrible? No, but it's okay. It just kind of helps. It really, really does. So again, that's just a couple of things that were kind of on my mind today that I wanted to talk about with you. Be interested in hearing if you have some thoughts on that as well. I still do a lot of exercise every day. I try and get in 3 or 4 miles of walking in the morning before I go to work. And when I come to you in these video messages, it's in the evening between newscasts. It's after the 7 o'clock newscast. The next one's at 10 o'clock. So I prepare dinner, and then I come out and I take a walk for about 30 or 40 minutes. It's very, very important. So that's about it today. I don't know if that was any help to you at all. And it helps me though, just talking. It's funny doing these little video messages. Sometimes, it's 1 or 2 of you that may have checked in and watched this. Other times 40, 50, 60. You just never know, but that's not really the point. It helps me just to talk about it. And some people say, well, what if you talk to somebody else about it? These are things that only you and I truly understand. So sometimes it's best just to have conversations among ourselves. Or in this case, I'm talking to you and maybe you're talking back to me through the screen, right? So that's about it. I truly do appreciate you, those of you that check in on these. And I want you to know that I hope maybe in some way I'm a little help to you. And maybe we help each other. And as I've said before, I'd really appreciate it too if maybe you'd consider subscribing to our channel. That's Traveling with Jack and Pam. My big hope is maybe someday I can quit having to work in the local news and be able to spread a little more positivity in the world, okay? So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell anyone you know to subscribe. And as I always say, have a great today and a better tomorrow. I'll leave you with a beautiful shot here of our church here in Jacksonville, Oregon at sunset. Really, really pretty. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening here, guys. Thanks again. Bye.